What's feng shui got to do with fertility? Hello Feng Shui Nation, it's Safrina Kadri from Feng Shui and Prosper. Very recently I put out a post and also sent out an email to those of you guys who are on my list announcing a fertility quiz that I just recently launched. I thought it was a bit of a fun perspective on the fertility journey. Now, I got an email back asking if I got hacked, if my account got hacked, because, you know, obviously that person thought that my message, which is didn't feel like it was feng shui in that email, she thought my account was hacked. And so I am here letting you guys know that I'm actually transitioning into another project that I have in my business. It's kind of evolved to a place where I actually want to start serving and supporting women or couples who have been struggling on the fertility journey by implementing a more holistic approach in their conception journey. And so some of you guys have heard or maybe even saw my older video, probably 2 years ago, that I had on YouTube, sharing my own fertility journey, where, you know, I was 25, 26, and my husband was in his early 30s, and that's when we wanted to get pregnant. And yet, after a year and a half, nothing took. I didn't even have a miscarriage because I didn't even get pregnant. Now, in all the media and all those fertility doctors, they would say if you're young and you're healthy, then, you know, getting pregnant shouldn't be an issue. I didn't smoke, I didn't drink, and obviously young. And so it really was like, okay, what is going on? Why aren't we even getting pregnant? And, you know, the tests came back clean, and so we really didn't have any answers, my husband and I, as to why nothing took. And it was through, you know, at this point I was getting reacquainted with feng shui. Some of you have heard that feng shui was how I magnetized my husband. And the thought came back to me and said, hey, feng shui worked for my relationship. Let's see if I can use feng shui to activate for fertility. Now, in the apartment that my husband and I lived at that time, there were a couple of feng shui issues. I'm not going to go in depth because it really is really specific to our situation. But what also happened at the same time was I started meditating, I started doing chants and mantras, and I started dabbling into energy healing as well. And I used a lot of energy healing to help me manage my stress. But where feng shui is concerned in terms of helping a couple boost their chances of getting pregnant, it actually makes a lot of sense. The role that feng shui should have on a couple's fertility journey. And what I mean by that is some homes have energies that you can tap into to maximize conception success. And once we figure it out, again, it is all calculated based on the period and the facing of the house, and then we get the permanent energy blueprint of the home. Only then we can kind of pinpoint, okay, here are the what I'm calling baby chi corners that you can activate. And again, what do you mean by activating? It depends on what element is needed. So is it fire, metal, earth, water, wood that you need to activate for that baby energy? And another feng shui placement, that is what most of the feng shui grandmasters use, is placing the bed. Bed placement is so important for fertility. And I remember one time I only asked a client of mine to move his bed like a foot to, I believe it was a foot to the right to compared to where what currently was. and then place a couple of furnitures around the bed. And he's like, how could moving the bed a foot, away make the difference? To him, it didn't make sense, but he followed anyway. And guess what? His wife and him, they were having secondary infertility, right? They already had a kid, but getting pregnant again was an issue. So that's considered secondary infertility. And right after he moved the bed, and I also looked at his wife and his birth chart, and then I said, okay, these are your fertile months. These are your fertile months. And luckily enough, there were months where both of them overlap. So I said, these are the months is where you need to really go at it, right? The fertility energy is there in you astrologically. Maximize that, and we've already maximized the feng shui placement to have the right energy, which is the sitting and the facing of the bed, to tap into baby luck or tap into baby energy. And so if you guys are following me on social media or you're on my email list and you're starting to wonder, why am I getting all these fertility emails from Safrina all of a sudden? I want to let you know that it's actually not quite all of a sudden. I actually wanted to transition to include a fertility offering since 2019, in all honesty. It's just this year I finally told myself I gotta get my behind moving and get this out, because people don't understand or don't realize the power of feng shui and other energy manipulation methods that I also shared with my clients. And out of the 12 years that I've been a feng shui consultant, I've had 13 couples come to me specifically for fertility, and I've got 9 of them pregnant. And so after the results of that, it's just become very clear that my next soul level mission is really to help other couples going through what my husband and I went through, and really finding answers where the medical community have no answers for you, right? And these, what I call energetic methods, are actually really powerful if it's done all together, if it's done holistically. You can't really pick and choose. So what I did with my first and second daughter, as well as what I did with my other clients, sure, we did the feng shui, but we talked about mindset, we talked about energy healing, we talked about self-sabotage or subconscious sabotages, and we also talk about past life blockages that could also impact your ability to get pregnant, stay pregnant, and so on and so forth. So really, my next journey as a guide is, of course, I'm still going to do feng shui. That's the main tool, but I'm really going to start implementing all those other tools and bring more feng shui babies into the world. And that just, it's something that makes my heart a little bit nervous, but I'm excited as well. And in all honesty, having been a feng shui consultant for so long, I'm actually really excited for this year to see where this will take the couples who end up deciding to work with me. And so if this resonates with you, if you're currently trying to get pregnant, or you know someone who is spiritually open, then I have a link. I'm going to put it in the description, and I'm going to put it somewhere on the screen. It's just an online presentation that I would love for you to join, so that I can go through the 5 energetic shifts that one must do in order to increase that baby energy, increase that fertility. It has nothing to do with the medical part, nothing to do with the physical part. It's all about energy. Remember the 5 energetic shifts. So I'm gonna put, again, the registration link to my online presentation. It's gonna be on the screen or in the description. And so if you're currently on the fertility journey, or if you know someone who is spiritually open, I emphasize that because this is very woo, it's very out there, it's very unconventional. but it also works if done right. And so if my invitation is something that aligns with where you are right now, I hope to see you on the other side. If I am new to you and you love classical feng shui, meaning real feng shui that gives you real results, make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, because I will be giving new videos every Thursday, and make sure you don't miss out on that.